On the 12th of April, Craig and Dave responded to my initial video. When I made that video, I expected Craig and Dave to try to go under the radar, in the hopes that I would give up. Craig and Dave, however, decided to stand their ground, infiltrate my Discord server, and acknowledge our movement's existence. Craig and Dave, you underestimate my resolve. We will not be stopped so easily. Today, I'll respond to their video. Roll the intro. Yeah, I wasn't just gonna waste that intro. Maybe one day I'll make a better one, but let's get started. Alright, first things first, I have some announcements to make. If you want to skip these and go straight to the response, I'll have some timestamps in the description, but most of this is relevant to the cause, so I'd recommend watching. Firstly, my apologies for being late to this video. After I saw Craig and Dave's video, I said that I'd have this one up like right away, but it's nearly 3 weeks late. The past 2 weeks I've had some important exams, so I've had to do a lot of revision, so that delayed it quite a lot, and it was also my birthday, so that's pretty cool. Secondly, thanks for all this support on the video. So far it's gained about 125 views as of today, and it's growing pretty fast. It's one of my top performing videos right now. And it really shows that I'm not the only one that has picked up on Craig and Dave's crimes, and that there is a community of people willing to stand up to his blatant oppression. In addition to that, the Craig and Dave slander server has hit 28 members and is growing quickly. If you haven't already joined, then please do so. Everyone is welcome. There is a link in the description. Soon after this video goes live, I'll be starting work on the main exposing video, and it would be great to get as many people in as possible. Like I said in my first video, I plan for this to be a massive collaboration. It will be like the Content Crusade, just on a much lower budget. In addition to YouTube, I've also been pretty active on Twitter, so if you could follow me there, that would be greatly appreciated. My account's on screen now. It would also be pretty epic if you sub to me on YouTube, you know, so you can stay up to date. Now, announcements and self-promotions out of the way, it's time to begin. Before I get into the contents of the video, I should probably clarify. This video is not the final planned exposing video. This is just meant to be a brief counter to some of the points that Craig and Dave brought up in his video. I'm gonna go over these points in more depth in the full exposing video. Alright, so now, how do we get here? Before I made the first video, I was announcing the Craig and Dave series on Twitter, and I gave out the link to the Discord, which you should definitely join. Aside from the people I already knew, only one person joined, who was Morcavian. Now, I don't know if this guy is one of Craig and Dave's alts, but I don't know, I'm quite sure he is. Firstly, him and Tons, who I'll get onto later, both speak in a very similar way. Like, it's what you would expect of someone Craig and Dave's age trying to like emulate how younger people would talk. A difference with them and the other suspect I have is that they actually had a profile picture, but that's really not massive. And they also credited Craig and Dave with helping them pass, but that could just be Craig and Dave simping over himself. I don't know though. The next account I suspect is Mr. M. This account joined but hasn't like talked or been seen online since. But because of the dates, either Mr. M or Morcavian had to be Craig and Dave, or it could have been both of them, but definitely at least one of them had to be, because the questions they took would directly copy paste off of my server, so there needs someone in it. I actually had no idea that Craig and Dave dropped their video until the next day, when someone I definitely know is an alt called Tons99 joined the server and basically announced it. So right away they asked what the server was about. As soon as I said check current plans, they posted this perfect grammar but bad spelling sentence linking the video. Like, how would they get that? Like, unless they already planned for it, meaning they already had someone in the server. They just made that account to come in and notify me. So that's a bit blatant. They talked very, I don't know, strangely. I'll have some pictures up now, but basically they both talk the same way, and it's the way you'd expect of like, yeah, someone Craig and Dave's age trying to like emulate like how we would talk. Their spelling was like atrocious, but their grammar was just perfect. So yeah. Alright, the final suspect is Monkey Brains, but I have no proof again. I think it's just another they haven't said anything at all since they came on. And I basically just think it's just another alt so they can keep spying on the server if I was to, say, ban Tons or Mr. M. I forgot to mention this. As soon as Tons joined the server, Molcavian left. I have no idea why, and if it's related or if not, but yeah. Oh, yeah, and for all the 3 suspects excluding Molcavian, because he left before I could get his dates, all of them made their accounts the exact same day, sometimes even at just a couple hours before they joined the server, so I'm quite sure all 3 of those are Craig and Nave's ults. Oh yeah, Craig and Nave, stop hiding my comments. You can stop a man, but you can't stop the movement. Alright, now onto the video. All of these questions were all directly from my server with the exact same wording, so if you want to check that, just check the Current Plans channel in my Discord.
Got some thoughts as well, and we're just going to answer them straight off the bat. So guess what? The #1 question is: are Craig and Dave actually the same person?
Well, clearly we're not.
Not so fast, Craig and Dave. If you'd actually taken the time to read my point, I said that editing Dave so they look different and editing both of them together is not that hard. This is just in their expertise as a computer science professional. My point is that they look the same, one just has a beard and one doesn't. And this isn't just me that's bringing this up. This was brought up by another commenter, and I'll show the comment on screen now. These videos can easily be scripted, recorded and edited together, and then just put together. It wouldn't be hard for them. Given the fact that they are computer science professionals, it would not be hard for them. And I'm not going to admit defeat on this point until I can both see them in an interactive live stream, but until then, all of this is completely possible with technology and editing.
But over time, I've done less of the videos and you've done more of the videos. So it does feel like it's more of one person, because actually you're now taking the lead with most of those videos.
Yeah, I would say if you 80-90% of those videos on YouTube now are my voice, which is why you think it's one person.
80 to 90% is pretty close to 100, Craig and Dave. I don't know who you're fooling. They are the same person.
Here's a good fun one. All your Cornell notebooks are the same. Isn't this a shameful marketing practice?
Okay, so they defend this point fairly well here, so I won't be countering it. But just note, I will address this in the final video, so I'm just going to skip ahead.
But here you go. This one might surprise you.
It's not surprising since you already know what's coming up.
Free, yet you charge
£50 to £110 for a USB pen containing them. This is true. They're available on our shop. £110 for the convenience of not being able to Google their channel. What a scam!
Outrageous!
How dare we? You can pick up a pen drive now for a few quid. All right. Yeah. There is a reason, and
yeah, not a good one.
Go on, Dave.
Well, what you have to appreciate is actually nothing is free. Really,
apart from the YouTube
I mean, how do you
videos.
define cost? I mean, there's cost in terms of money, there's cost in terms of time, there's cost in terms of data. Okay.
A USB stick does not cost that much money, and it takes you no time and effort to make these USB sticks. I don't know how people believe that these deserve to cost that much.
Now, when you watch our videos on YouTube, it helps us. It helps promote Craig and Dave, okay? Because we get things called insights from Google and impressions. Now, we don't monetize our videos, so we don't get any money from YouTube at all, okay? YouTube's just a very handy platform for us to host our videos. But because it's powered by Google, it does give us a massive advantage in promoting us, which
is, what we'd like. We want more students to be aware of our videos so that they can do well in their exams. That's ultimately what this is about.
Don't try to claim altruism when you are literally profiting off of it, you schmuck.
Now, if you get them on a USB memory stick because you want to host them locally in your school, that's fine. We don't want to stop you doing that. But if every school did that, then no other schools would find out about us. No other students would find out about us because they'd all be hosted locally. And so that's not really good for us.
Yeah, because you wouldn't make any money.
So we don't want people buying our memory sticks. Let me put that out there. We do not want schools buying our memory sticks.
I think there's the clincher.
Then why'd you sell them, Craig and Dave? Why? On the exact same tweet that you linked this video on, someone commented that they need them. I'm gonna have the comment on screen now. You can't make this stuff up. Your point is so stupid. All you're doing is forcing people that can't use the internet at home or at school to buy it at a higher price. Considering that if that is the case, they're probably a lower income like family or school, forced to paying an extortionate rate, you can see why I refer to Craig and Dave as an enemy of the working class. Now, after this, they go on to ramble how YouTube is a better platform, so I'm just going to skip that. No one disagrees. You're literally just digging a deep hole for yourself. Let's say I run a pyramid scheme, and because I'm so kind, I'm going to make the entry price to the scam really big. That way, no one will buy it. Man, I'm just so kind, right? I am so generous. It's really stupid when you think about it.
Right, okay. Question number 4. Here we go. Your logo is stolen from BP, a literal carbon copy. Ironic that one of the key topics in computer science is ethics. Right, I'm going to take this one to start with. First of all, here's a definition from Oxford Languages on carbon copy.
A personal thing identical or almost identical to another.
Do you not understand hyperbole, Craig and Dave? Really?
Now, I'd love to link to the BP logo at this point, but because as we teach ethics and morals, we're not going to do that. But in the top right-hand corner is our logo. I challenge you to Google BP's logo and tell me that they are a carbon copy.
Okay, so here's the Craig and Dave logo, and here's the BP logo. All they've done is blended all the greens into one shade, and then the green take up more compared to the white, and then added some clip art power symbol. Easily editable.
You created it, didn't you, Dave?
I'm not sure I can take the credit for that. I'd like to, but I think it was the chap that does our website. But anyway, move on.
Yes, we have other people that work for us, but, you know, putting them in the name would be ridiculous.
Okay, so later on you say how it's just 2 of you, and now you're saying that there are people that work for you. Yeah, I wonder how you can afford a team if you aren't making any profit.
Oh, this one. You have a monopoly over the computer science education sector, thus forcing students to use your materials. How I wish that was true. It's not. We don't have a monopoly by far.
Dave and I still work in schools, we still have our mortgages to pay. No, we don't drive expensive cars and live in large mansions. Really, we don't. I mean, I'd like to think, I'd like to think we're doing okay.
We came from nowhere 5 years ago.
You may be thinking, 5 years ago, but there were videos only 3 years ago. This is a point I'll be bringing up in a later video, so stay tuned for that.
But I can tell you now, there are dozens of other suppliers. It's a crowded market, and actually, we like working with them. It's not quite as competitive as many people think.
No, not as competitive. You've literally admitted it.
You know, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. And, you know, just to illustrate that, for example, Paul Long.
Now, they mention a couple other sources, which I'll address at a later time, but their first example is Paul Long. Paul Long has 114 subscribers. I am 40 subs away from overtaking him. He hasn't uploaded a computer science video in over 6 years. He's as much a competitor to you as I am a competitor to, like, Dan TDM or Stampy or something. Also, Paul Long has a partnership with Craig and Dave, so you're not even competitors.
So there you go. Okay, one more question, and then I think we'll finish with a quick Q&A for the opening video. Your videos sound boring, making the videos painful to watch. I've set myself up for this one because I've just turned around and said that I now am the voice of 80 to 90% of the videos. Look, I don't have an answer to that one.
Because I'm right.
I do. Yeah. You're boring.
You're literally roasting yourself. Oh my god.
If you're having trouble sleeping and you need a cure for insomnia, then you're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I think what I
there is
would
a serious side, though. Go on. Yeah.
I'd just say, you know, sometimes they are.
He's agreeing with me, so I'm probably just going to fast forward most of this.
I'm just going to put it out there, you know, sometimes our videos are boring because the point of the video really is to teach you the theoretical content. It's not entertainment. And I think this is where people get a bit confused because we put them on YouTube and YouTube videos typically are, you know, entertainment that you kind of expect because we're using that medium that we'll be delivering something in that flavour.
You again ignored how I said that other YouTubers, like my homie BizCon Sesh, are able to do it well. I know it's meant to be educational, not entertainment, but you need to make your videos interesting so that people actually want to watch and want to learn from them.
And that's not true. We're using YouTube because it's a great content sharing platform and it's free, okay? And we get all the other benefits that we talked about earlier. But this is learning, yeah, and sometimes, you know, learning is not always bells, whistles, fun and entertainment.
I never claimed it was.
We like to try and make lessons interesting.
Well, you've done pretty badly.
But the point of the videos is to just teach you and to give you the notes, actually, to give you notes that
Ah yes, notes which you'll need to put into their various Cornell notebooks which are all the same.
you can use later in your learning. And that doesn't need to be too entertaining and fun, because if it's too fun, you lose the critical parts of the learning.
It doesn't need to be massively fun, just not completely switch off boring.
Now, I'm not going to lie, if we had, you know, the millions of pounds that you all think that we've got, I'd love to have a production team.
You created it, didn't you, Dave?
I'm not sure I can take the credit for that. I'd like to, but I think it was the chap that does our website. But anyway, move on.
Yes, we have other people that work for us, but, you know, putting them in the name would be ridiculous.
Is that we're doing now is if we can increase the subscriber count, then perhaps that will open doors to more collaborations and we can do more fun and interesting things with you.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Although, again, if you're a student watching this, your main exposure to us maybe through YouTube, it is unreasonable to compare us to full-time YouTube celebrities.
You are celebrities though, at least in the eyes of the poor computer science students looking towards you in hopes of getting a grade higher than 5 because their teacher's actually too lazy to teach, but all they get is dirt.
Right, well, that is our opening 6 most popular questions we get, but I know you're going to tell them a little bit just briefly about what this series actually is, because this is
yeah, exactly. I mean, if we get more questions, you know, feel free, you know, to put comments in questions or drop us an email or whatever, and we'll happily talk about things.
Ironic you say that. You've been censoring my comments.
So let's give you something back. Let's give you different kinds of videos on a more regular basis, and let's see, you know, what happens to that subscriber count. So this is about giving you something different, something extra, something very much unscripted. So there's no script here. Sometimes with our videos, our theory videos, we do a little bit of scripting because it keeps us on track. But these are just, there's no script. What you're hearing is off the top of my head. And we're not going to do hardly any, if any. I don't really want any post-production editing. I want this to be raw and feel live.
Good job with that, mate. Your video is blatantly scripted.
That's great.
Yeah. Go on then, couple of shout outs.
Okay, couple of shout outs, and then that'll bring us to an end for today. Okay, so
I'm just going to read these ones out. So, shout out from class 11A1 at Kenilworth School and sixth form. Okay, the class want to thank you, Mr. Gulliver. You've gone above and beyond, giving the class so many resources to not only use in the lessons but also for independent revision. And some of your class have written to us and have said, please, can you, do a personal thank you to Mr. Gulliver on our behalf. So this is the personal thank you. We find it really inspiring, actually. You know, Craig and I, we love to talk about teaching and how to teach better lessons, and to hear that there are students out there that really are getting a great experience from their teacher is fantastic. Because we know that's not universal. We know that some teachers have come to computer science from other disciplines and they don't find it easy to teach. And that's really part of why Craig and Dave became a thing. And we'll talk about it in another video. But Mr. Gulliver, you're doing a fantastic job. You even went into school when you weren't feeling very well, and you could have stayed at home, but no, you were there for class 11A1 at Kenilworth School. So they want to say thank you for your dedication to teaching.
So that's the first one. And the second one is a thank you to Oliver for giving us some great ideas for this series. So thank you to you too.
Okay, so at the end of the video, he mentioned some shout-outs. One of those was Oliver, and this is what he has to say. Okay, so this bit is what Oliver says. Okay, so at the end of the video, Craig and Dave gave a shout out to an Oliver for giving them suggestions for the questions. I assume they're referring to me since we used my email when asking about the Cornell notebooks. I assume they then thought me and you were the same person since you referenced the email in your plans. They censored the surname at the end, but this is because the email I sent them didn't have my surname in it. It is 100% a bluff. Okay, thanks for watching all the way through. This probably didn't sound that good since it's like 1 AM and I'm pretty tired, but depending on when this is uploaded, episode 4 of the untruthfully named unscripted series will already be up, or will be up shortly. After that though, I'm unsure as how they'll react to this. They might choose just to ignore me, or maybe they'll respond again, who knows. But I can guarantee one thing. This is far from the end. Thanks for watching. L. Psi. Congru.